Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning, afternoon for some of you, it looks like, for our UX Best Practices webcast. Today we're going to talk about 15 UX tips to improve credit card sites, and I'm going to hand it over to Teresa and Jessica, your presenters today.
Great. Thank you so much, Tanya. Thank you, everyone, for joining our webcast today. Before Jessica and I get started, we'd like to introduce ourselves. I'm Teresa Elzy, and I'm a UX Research Manager at AnswerLab. For those of you unfamiliar with AnswerLab, we are a consulting firm dedicated to helping create exceptional digital experiences for the world's leading brands. As a researcher, I have a long history of doing qualitative and quantitative research for media, finance, retail, and healthcare organizations. As a UX Research Manager, I have given advice to Google, Facebook, and Wells Fargo, among others. Joining me is Jessica Weber.
Thanks, Teresa. Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Weber, a UX strategist. I've been with AnswerLab for over 5 years, and as a UX strategist, I help our clients identify how research can help improve their digital products. I've overseen research programs for financial services clients like Charles Schwab, Visa, JP Morgan, and Wells Fargo. A couple of housekeeping items before we get into the presentation. We'll be taking questions at the end, but feel free to enter them into the Q&A panel at any time during our talk, and we'll share a copy of the presentation and a recording after the event.
So why does the user experience of your credit card site matter? Consumers rely on digital channels to research new credit cards and to manage their existing accounts. Data tells us that banking consumers can be fickle, researching and applying to new accounts frequently. Banks can attract new customers and keep the ones they have by ensuring they're meeting the needs and exceeding their expectations for digital experiences. AnswerLab's team conducted over 200 interviews with consumers to understand how financial services brands can optimize the digital experience. We distilled our insights into 15 UX best practices for designing credit card sites, which we're going to talk about today. We'll be sharing some screenshots to illustrate all of these tips as we go along. As you know, things in the digital world can change pretty quickly, so some examples may be a little different than if you went to those sites right now. First, let me tell you a little bit more about the methodology. These results are based on multiple studies across financial brands over the past 2 years. All studies were conducted by AnswerLab as one-on-one interview sessions with over 200 consumers across the United States. Consumers performed key tasks on both desktop and mobile devices for both live and prototyped websites and apps. The results uncovered 15 UX best practices for designing credit card sites, which we've grouped into 5 core themes, including streamline information, provide visual examples, simplify the application process, make it easy to use on any device, and highlight card benefits. Let's begin with streamline information. Consumers browse, research, and compare their options when looking for a new credit card. This section explores how brands can streamline information to guide consumers towards faster, easier decisions. Tip number 1, deliver progressive disclosure of information. Consumers like sites to provide all the information they would need to make a decision. However, too much fine print all at once can be overwhelming. When consumers can access the information at their own pace via expandable accordion formats or hover-overs, they feel more in control and are more likely to stay focused on the task. Here's an example of an accordion menu from the American Express website that allows users to control how and when they learn more about the card's benefits by expanding each section one at a time. Tip number 2, provide credit card matching tools. Consumers appreciate tools that allow them to narrow down their options. Sites can provide credit card matching tools that generate targeted card recommendations with explanations about why each card is a good fit for them. Brands that provide this kind of guidance can increase consumer confidence in the selection process. Here's a great example of a quiz from the American Express website that asks consumers to provide answers to 3 simple questions in order to generate targeted card recommendations. Consumers answer questions about their personal income and their desired card benefits to receive recommended cards for consideration. Tip number 3, design easy-to-read comparison charts. Comparison charts allow consumers to quickly scan and evaluate cards side by side. This allows them to easily assess things like card APRs, rewards, fees, and security. Keep in mind that it's important that these charts be easy to digest. Complicated or difficult to read comparison charts frustrate consumers, leading them to abandon the process. Here we can see a chart from Citibank, which includes an appropriate level of detail balanced with white space, and most of the pertinent information falls above the fold. Tip number 4, provide clear information about fraud protection. Consumers know that no one is immune to identity theft in today's world, and they want assurance that a credit card will not hold them liable for fraudulent card activity. Brands that clearly communicate hassle-free protection will increase consumer interest and confidence in applying for the card. Here we can see an example from Capital One, where information about fraud protection is prominently highlighted and clearly outlines the company's policies. Number 5, make help sections easily accessible. When consumers are online and they have questions, they want answers quickly. Sites that have easily discoverable help sections with FAQs and online customer service contact information will prevent users from getting frustrated and abandoning the process. Here on the Citibank site, FAQs and customer assistance information are easily discoverable under Help in the menu. A search box also allows users to enter in keywords relevant to their questions. Next, Jessica will talk about the importance of visual examples.
Thanks, Teresa. This section discusses how simple visual examples can help consumers understand complex information. Showing consumers card benefits can be more impactful than telling them. The higher the consumer's comfort level with their knowledge, the more confident they'll feel selecting a card. Tip number 6, provide rewards and savings calculator tools. Consumers appreciate tools that allow them to calculate how their individual spending habits will affect their rewards. On-site calculator tools that demonstrate the card's benefits in a personalized way increase comprehension and the likelihood they'll apply. In this example, we can see how users can customize their spending in different categories, such as grocery stores, dining, and gas stations, in order to clearly see the impact that that spending will have on their potential rewards. Tip number 7, include demos of card management tools. Consumers want cards that provide tools to track and manage their spending. Visuals of the card's account management tools can drive deeper engagement with the brand early in the selection process. Here, Discover offers a demo of their Spend Analyzer tool so consumers can see how their spending data will be presented to them once they become customers. Next, we'll talk about simplifying the application process. Once a consumer selects a card, the online application process should be quick and easy. In this section, we'll share tips to increase conversions by making the application process as straightforward as possible. Tip number 8, utilize prominent and consistent calls to action. Once consumers have selected a card, they'll look for clear calls to action to take the next step and apply. When consumers can easily identify their next steps, it makes it more likely they'll follow through in the application process. In this example, each card option has a clear call to action at the bottom so users know exactly where to go to get to the next step in the application process. Tip number 9, show visual indicators of progress. Consumers become frustrated when an application process feels lengthier than expected. Use design features showing progress to set expectations and minimize their fatigue. We've all started an application process and been a few pages in and not known how much more time we'd need to spend on the task. In this E-Trade example, users can clearly see from the progress bar above the form that they're on step number 2 in the process and they have 2 more screens to complete before they're finished. Tip number 10, optimize application forms for mobile. Consumers are increasingly more comfortable providing financial information on their mobile devices. If they're already researching your card for mobile, why not get them through the application form there as well? An application form that is optimized for mobile increases the likelihood of consumers submitting while on the go. Simply surfacing the right keyboard in a form can make a huge difference in whether users complete the process. I know you've probably had this experience, as I have, where the alpha keypad comes up for number entry, which makes it cumbersome to enter information quickly. Instead, design with number pads where applicable for quick and easy data entry. Tip number 11, increase confidence and security. Privacy and security concerns come up over and over in our research. Consumers want to know that their credit card provider is protecting their personal financial information throughout the application process. Websites should provide clear information about their security measures to increase trust in the brand. In this example, Bank of America not only clearly outlines their safety features, but the company also goes an extra step to teach consumers what to look for to ensure they're on the legitimate Bank of America site. The gray box on the right demonstrates what to look for before even entering credentials.
It's not just the application process that benefits from mobile optimization. Consumers are tracking and managing their finances on the go, and they expect brands to keep up with them. You can increase engagement with your brand by optimizing for mobile. Tip number 12, allow for seamless experiences across devices. Consumers expect a seamless experience across devices and want to be able to complete tasks like checking balances, paying bills, or redeeming rewards wherever they want, whenever they want. Brands who do this best understand what their users are trying to do on desktop versus mobile and provide the right features at the right times. In this example, Chase's mobile app is facilitating a user goal of looking for the card that's the best fit for them, utilizing an easy-to-use grid design. Here you can see that users can easily browse by type of benefit. Tip number 13, utilize the latest technologies for mobile access. Consumers demand convenience in managing their financial accounts on mobile. Brands can encourage deeper engagement by providing the latest technologies like biometric data for login and account management. In this example, Citibank Mobile leverages Apple's Touch ID to allow users to quickly log into their accounts using only their fingerprint, which eliminates extra keystrokes or the need to recall a password.
Finally, we'll discuss how to highlight card benefits. Once you have new card members, don't forget to keep them coming back. Consumers stop using cards when they can't easily redeem the benefits they signed up to get. They also become frustrated when they realize there were card benefits they weren't taking advantage of. In this section, we'll discuss how to build loyalty by increasing awareness of benefits and making it easier to redeem rewards. Tip number 14, surface card benefits up front. Consumers are often pleasantly surprised to learn their card has additional benefits. Don't miss an opportunity to differentiate yourself. If you have a reward or benefit that's different than your competitors, put it out there so users don't miss it. Surfacing card benefits enables consumers to take advantage of their card's benefits, which increases their loyalty to the card. In this example, Discover surfaces their card's benefits front and center on the login screen to reinforce the advantages of the brand. And last, tip number 15, provide streamlined management of rewards. Consumers often choose to continue to use a card based on the rewards experience, particularly the ease with which they can view, manage, and redeem their rewards. We've seen users really struggle managing their rewards when the brand takes them out of their site to an external page that doesn't align with the brand, and oftentimes doesn't even look like the brand pages. In this example, the Bank of America rewards page aligns with the Bank of America branding from previous pages. Rewards, totals, and redemptions actions are clear. This is our final best practice in today's webcast. I hope we've given you some ideas you can take away to help you improve the digital experience for your customers. Just a quick reminder before we take your questions, we'll be sending out a copy of this presentation to you via email shortly. And now we have a few minutes to take your questions.
Okay, here's a question. Were there certain tasks people preferred to do on mobile devices or that they only did on mobile? So what we've found is generally what we hear from users is that they really prefer mobile to do things like check their account balances multiple times a day, to do research into new credit cards, to do comparisons and things like that. When it comes to filling out forms, though, we do hear from users that they do prefer to do that task on desktop unless a brand provides a very smooth, seamless experience, for an application form. So it's particularly important that that brands focus on making that form, that application experience, seamless and easy, quick and easy, so that users will complete their task while they're researching something on mobile rather than pausing to pick it up later on another device.
Okay, we have another question. You talked about progressive disclosure of information. What information did participants have interest in seeing first?
So generally, one of the big advantage of progressive disclosure of information and utilizing features such as accordion formats or hoverovers is that users can actually reveal the information that they choose to reveal at their own pace. So it does really vary on the individual, the information that they prefer to see first, and that's really where those kinds of design features can come in and enable the user to look at the information that they prefer first in the order that they prefer.
Another question, going back to the idea of forms, is there an ideal number of screens for a form? What's too many?
So when a brand does utilize a progress bar for a form, generally the user expectation there is that there will be one screen per step throughout the progress bar. So there are no hard and fast rules for the exact number of screens that make it ideal for a user, but generally it's about setting expectations, and that's where that progress bar really comes in and can make the experience easier for the user. So one screen per step, and just letting the user know where they are in the process so that they know how much further they have to go, and that they don't abandon, let's say, at step 5 of 6 because they don't know where they are in the process.
Okay, and I believe our final question, you said these results are based on 2 years of user interviews. Do you think some things have changed?
Certainly things do change over time, particularly when it comes to digital experiences and mobile in particular. What we do know is what we've been hearing over the past 2 years is that demands are getting higher for those mobile experiences in particular. So no, I don't think that the findings per se have changed, but I do think that we are starting to see new technologies surface every year, and so that is what's moving in a new direction. But those expectations from users for a quick and easy, painless experience, for seamless experiences across devices, those expectations are just becoming increasingly higher over time. Any other questions? Feel free to enter your questions into the chat box in the WebEx. Okay, it looks like we have no other questions for today. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. As we said, we will be sending out a copy of the presentation. And thank you for your time and for joining us today.